Writers in the Schools is a program of Seattle Arts and Lectures. What we do is offer in-school creative writing instruction. We reach over 5,000 students each year, and we have 23 local professional writers who work with us, and they teach poetry, they teach fiction, memoir, and comics to these students in the school day or in their hospital rooms. In addition to that, we have 3 big events that we call the bookend events. So each year in May, we go down to the Seattle Central Library and we have these 2 readings. One is the elementary and middle school students and one is the high school student readers. And then we also publish an annual anthology with 140 or so students. And those kids are invited to Benaroya Hall to share their work on stage.
I've been fortunate enough to be a part of WITS for a long time, and WITS really just provides the opportunity for the kids to be their own kind of writers. It builds their confidence and allows them to express themselves in ways that they weren't always able to before with some structured writing assignments that we do in our classrooms, and it just provides an outlet for them to be really expressive.
One of the greatest pleasures working with young writers who are making poems, sometimes for the first time. I feel like it empowers them, and it's a great self-esteem booster because suddenly they realize just how vast and wild and surprising their mind is.
I really like that she's wanting us to write and that we're writing poems and letting our mind go wild. Writing helps me be more myself.
You know, middle school is a challenging age. You don't want to be judged, and Mr. Counts, Aaron, really does a great job letting them experiment with words and express themselves in ways that aren't threatening, and I'm so surprised at how much they love to share at the end of the day.
One of the great things about Writers in the Schools is, you know, despite whatever kind of student you are, whatever kind of success you've had in a language arts classroom, poetry and fiction is about your imagination and tapping that. And so every student has a chance to be successful. So, you know, I run into students from years past and other residencies, and they're always happy to talk about what they're writing now. And so I view that as a success, just because you know, they were talking to me about Jordans before, and now they're talking to me about metaphor, and so those are the wins I like to think about.
It's not just writing a poem, it's more like there's like a theme to it, which is pretty cool, because like back when I did poetry like in the 4th grade, we just like write about anything, and I guess that's pretty cool, like, and stuff, but I feel like it's cooler when you have like a theme, like one of the themes would be like a lie or like sounds that you hear or like an apology, so that's pretty cool.
There's a couple students in particular who at the beginning of the year they were really struggling in my class, and there was sort of an oppositional feeling, like they didn't feel like this was for them. And a couple of them had really had a lot of success working with WITS, and then after that it sort of, they maintained the attitude of knowing that they could be successful, and they brought that to their next stuff. So, I mean, it's, for a couple of them in particular, it's been pretty transformative.
I love teaching for WITS for a number of different reasons. One of them is just how much importance is placed on the student voice. Recognizing that learning about poetry within the context of someone else's writing, within the context of an art form, that has tremendous value, but also just as important, if not more important, is helping the students to find their own voice to help them to express themselves through this art form.
It's a way to unload things, to think of ways to put into words feelings that you're feeling, or yeah, I think it's expression, and it helps us expand our vocabulary a lot because he teaches us new words, and he teaches us different ways to see things, like pictures. Like you can take a picture and we can make that picture into a poem. I've never done that before. It's pretty cool.
Something good about writing is you get to really express yourself in whatever way you want. You can be an angry writer, you could be a sad writer, you could be a happy writer, and I write like like fire. I write like fire.